Welcome to this week's Down Home with Tina. I'm your host, Tina Thompson. I'm always excited to be with you. I've got a couple of great guests today that we will get to here in just a little bit. But I thought it would be kind of neat to share with you a story I came across. You know, when I get ready to do my show, sometimes I'm like, what do I want to talk about today? And I had a little help of somebody say, well, do you have any New Year's resolutions? And it wasn't really a New Year's resolution, but it is something that I had talked or thought about before that I wanted to share with you, all my viewers. And I went onto my phone and I found this. I wrote it for some unknown reason. I'm not quite sure why I did. So it was dated I think it was maybe last May. It would have been about last May because I don't have a date on it. And I don't know if you're somebody that journals or anything. And back to the New Year's resolution thing in the new year, I got to thinking, you know, my kids are getting older, and of course they all are, and time goes by way too fast. And some folks this next year, they're going to have, or some are going to have their first child. Some folks are going to have their firstborn graduate high school, maybe college. Maybe they're going to have their own babies, going to make you a grandparent or something. There are going to be a lot of new things that happen this year. And New Year's resolutions, of course, is more about you and what you're going to do and what you're going to change in your year. But I just want to share with you this story that I came across last year. And I just thought, oh, this is kind of neat because it is about being a mom and my feelings of what I went through at this time. So I wrote, being a mom is what I say defines being fearless. Carrying a baby in our womb and giving birth to another human being to raise and let go when they get older. We try our best at doing what we think is the right thing. This past weekend, which again, this is dated last spring. This past weekend, I watched my son as he sang his last performance with his school ensemble. My daughter, who will be a high school freshman next year, she tried out for high school cheer all in the same day. This is what happened. Let's just say my heart was a hot mess. My son will graduate high school and become an adult all within 3 days, which will take place within the next 3 weeks. I looked him in the face a few days ago and said, don't be surprised if you see me just stop and cry every now and again within the next few weeks. I explained this same exact thing to my daughter too. I said, you see, I am a mom. I pray constantly. I cry when I don't know if I'm going to do something right. I give my heart to my kids because that's what as a mom, that's what I do. And so after I read that, and I was like, you know what, this is that time of year where so many different and new things are going to happen. And a couple of things there. It's okay to cry. It's okay to let your kids know you're going to cry. And it's okay to just communicate with them and let them know that it's going to be the toughest thing that you do is trying to let them let go and become an adult. But I will tell you this, that no worries. This is something that I know that you've got this. All right. So to a happy new year, happy new things and new beginnings of whatever may come or what may go in your life of 2020.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Dagger Law has been part of the Lancaster community for more than 110 years. This is where we live and work. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and all around town. We consider our clients as friends, and we walk alongside you through challenging times. Whether you're a growing business, a changing family, facing litigation, planning your future, or dealing with land issues, we're right here. We are local. We are trusted. We are experienced. Dagger Law.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. My guest is the executive director of a Special Wish Foundation. His name is John Little. But before John and I got started, it was, oh my goodness, how many years ago that I knew of you. When I was a kid, my grandmother, she lived over off of East Locust Street, and that wasn't the only reason we would come to the store. IGA located on Main Street in Lancaster, right? That was one of the two stores, right?
Of the two, yeah.
Well, is that where you were? Is that where you worked, or were you in Baltimore? See,
yeah.
But I used to go to Baltimore because this was so many years ago. I'm talking, I was a young child, and my aunt worked at, I don't know if she worked at both. For some reason, the one in Lancaster keeps coming to mind. She may have worked at both, but I know that she did work at the one in Baltimore, my Aunt Jane, which I was just a young kid. And John, I just remembered you. I think it was because you were a big kid. And when you're little and he was a tall, big kid and tall, I was just like, wow. And I guess I thought he was cool. I don't know what it was, but I just have never forgot that. You know what I mean? Just because it's just one of those things. I don't know. So then fast forward how many years we won't say. And then I got to know you through my talk radio show. And then now I saw something that you guys have going on for a Special Wish Foundation. And I wanted to get you on here to talk about that. A Special Wish, how many years have you guys been, I don't want to say in business, but going at it here in Fairfield County?
Special Wish started in Columbus in 1982, and the Lancaster chapter formed in 1984.
Okay.
So we're getting close to 40 years that we've been around.
How many years have you been involved with it?
I have been involved for 21 years now.
Okay.
And it's kind of a long story, but when my daughter was a junior at Lancaster High School, she wanted to get involved in some kind of community charity work, and
nice.
She asked me to do it with her, and so she kind of looked around and picked Special Wish, and that was, my goodness, like I say, that's 21 years ago, so I've been with it ever since.
What has it been like for you, and what do you see the differences that have taken place since then and now? Do you have more kids, are you finding, or?
No, we still do 6 to 8 kids a year.
Okay.
We have one we're working on right now. A young lady is, she's a quadriplegic and she wants to go on a trip, so we're trying to put that together for her. Being a quadriplegic, she will need to drive. We can't, won't be able to fly.
Okay.
But we'll take care of all the expenses. If they need to rent a vehicle, we'll do that. And take care of the any kind of overnight stays or travel expenses. Anything we'll take care of that for.
How do you get your wish kids?
All by referral. It used to be a long time ago. We could get referrals through the Children's Hospital, but with the HIPAA laws, that's all changed. So, it's all through referral now.
Okay, so folks or somebody could just call up and say, hey, I know of somebody.
Yeah.
What is it exactly? Do they have to have a terminal illness? Or
life-threatening.
Life-threatening.
If it's an illness that would it would lessen their normal life expectancy. And again, if a doctor signs off on it, we grant it. We don't really, it's not a panel say, well, we'll do this or this. If a doctor signs off, we grant the wish.
Is there an age limit on it?
Our age is 0 to 20.
Okay, 20.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So between those and anybody that fall under that criteria, somebody could call you up and
absolutely
and refer.
Right.
How many have you, I guess, made wishes come true since you've been in? If you said 6 to 8 a year for what, let's say 20 years to make it easy, 8.
Oh gosh,
that's a lot of kids.
It's at
so,
least that, yeah. So it's humbling.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Puts everything in perspective for you.
Yeah. Do you ever have any of them come back and talk to you or see you or visit you?
Yeah, we send Christmas cards to all our wish families every year, we have a reunion. We try to do it at least every couple years anyway. We have a reunion and just invite them all back and just provide food and just a time for them to get together.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I always say that everybody goes through things at different times, and this is something that not a lot of folks experience. So when you have something in common with somebody else and you can bring them together, they can share stories and maybe help one another.
Right, yeah.
Through the times.
Give each other support, yeah, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You can make lifelong friends and
right.
I think, great memories and stuff like that.
Right.
How do you raise your funds for your special wish children?
Well, we try to have different fundraisers every year. Of course, we're all volunteers, so nobody.
You are.
We're all volunteers. Yes. Nobody makes a penny off this. The money that we raise does stay local, which will be Fairfield, Hocking, and Perry County. So it all stays within those 3 counties. We have fundraisers. We do have a poker run every July. That seems to be our biggest fundraiser, but we try a lot of different things.
Is poker motorcycle run or cars or what? Who all can go out?
Yeah, we'd like to see more cars get involved.
Okay.
But mostly it is motorcycles.
Okay. Are you planning for this year? I don't know if you're already taking bikes and signing them up or motorcyclists.
Not yet. We really haven't established a date yet.
Okay.
But it will be in July.
Okay.
So.
But you have a Facebook page, so
we do.
Try to get you back on, but if can't, then we can hopefully be in touch, and you guys can follow them on the Facebook page. A Special Wish Foundation. Is it Lancaster or Fairfield County?
Yeah, a Special Wish Foundation Lancaster chapter.
Okay, wonderful. So you can stay up to date on that. But you have something coming up here within the month.
We do. We have Tiki Lanes is going to host a fundraiser for us. It'll be a Thunder Alley.
Okay.
It's Saturday, January 25th.
Okay.
From noon to 2. And they just ask that people call in and reserve a lane. It's $12 a person. That includes shoe rental.
Okay.
And they will donate $3 of the $12 to a Special Wish.
To a Special Wish.
Right.
Okay.
So and we'll probably have baked goods for, we'll take donations for stuff like that, and maybe a 50-50 drawing. So but that'll be January 25th.
January 25th. Mark your calendars. Follow them on Facebook. A Special Wish Foundation Lancaster chapter.
Lancaster chapter.
Right.
Correct.
Yes. I want to thank you so much. Time just flew, haven't you? My goodness. It's so great to have you. Anybody has any questions, that's the best way to contact you.
Absolutely.
Through Facebook. All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
All
Good luck. Y'all go out and go bowling and help the kids and help a wish come true. You're watching Downhill with Tina. I'll be back in just a few.
Hi, I'm Amanda Wattenberg, Regional Director at Ohio Guidestone. Do you or does someone you know have a substance abuse disorder? Have you been thinking about getting help, but don't know where to start? It takes a lot of courage to ask for help, but it's the most important step you can take. If you think you know everything that's available in Fairfield County, think again. Like other chronic diseases, addiction can be managed successfully. Treatment enables people to counteract addiction's powerful, disruptive effects on the brain's behavior and regain control of their lives. Even if it takes multiple attempts, treatment does work and people do recover from addiction every day. So keep trying because your life matters. You matter, and we're here to help. Call 211 and ask for the treatment resources available right here in Fairfield County.
This message is brought to you by the Fairfield County Adam H. Board.
Welcome back to Downhill with Tina. My next guest I have with me now is Mrs. Barbie Lumbard. She is a teacher at Tallmadge Elementary here in Lancaster. And being a kindergarten teacher that you are, how many years have you been a kindergarten teacher or taught?
I have taught in Lancaster this is my 12th year, but I've been a kindergarten teacher for 11.
You have?
So yeah, I was a second grade teacher initially.
Do you love being a kindergarten teacher?
You have to love being a kindergarten teacher.
Good answer, no.
If you don't love it, you don't be a kindergarten teacher.
That is so funny. No,
Yeah.
I cannot even imagine, Barbie, what it is that you hear some of your kids say, because you were just saying just before we came on here about one of the comments.
They'll tell you a lot. I said, I had just gone to lunch, and so I was very full, and I was standing there saying, oh, my stomach is so full, and one of my kids said, well, I hope you get a baby because babies are really cute.
And you're like, yes, they are, but no babies right now, no. Little do they know you have a whole lot of them you take care of every day. Not that they're babies or anything, but they're so new.
They are.
What is it like having, right at the beginning of the year, these new students that it's their first experience of school, period?
Yeah, it's interesting because there's a huge gamut. There's kids that come in and they're ready to read, and there's kids that come in that know nothing, and they don't know how to write their name. They don't even know they have a name at this point. Yeah. So trying to kind of gather that all together and try to figure out, how do I teach this high student and how do I teach this low student? But that's one of the reasons why I love kindergarten, because there's so much that you teach them, and they're little sponges and they just absorb everything. So.
How much are you allowed to use of your own creativity when teaching kids? Because I would think that you would have to be pretty creative.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one of the things that I was afraid of coming into being a teacher, because I thought, I'm not creative enough. I can't do this. But it's surprising how much that you can kind of come up with on your own. And literally, I thought of a game even today. We call them hat tricks. Something I just pulled out of my hat, and it worked wonderful. And it was kind of a little game like musical chairs, but it was with sight words and, some of the CVC words and things like that. And they loved it. And it's getting them up and moving, and they don't even know they're learning. So,
do you find being that kindergarten, because I'm not familiar with that side of it, teaching and everything, doing things in a visual way or form for them is much easier at this age? Or is it just like any age with a child, it just depends on the child?
It all depends on the child, because there are some kids that really can hear something and take it in and they know it. And then there are other kids that you have to kind of give them every opportunity. So they're hands-on, they're visual, they're, auditory learners. There's a lot going on there. So.
Barbie, do you have any kind of tips that you can give parents who are first, they have their first child? I was that mom who was kind of like, okay, I'm the oldest of 5 girls, and I have this boy, and I thought I knew a lot about kids, but not saying that they're that much different, but he was everything that I was unfamiliar with. And so is there anything that you can share, boy or girl, whatever, that can maybe help them when it comes to teaching them at a young age, maybe reading or whatever?
Exactly, yeah. Just books. Get books in their hands, read to them constantly. My kiddos, my own kids, I have 2 kids of my own, they're in their 20s, and they love to read even still today, and just that's what we did while they were growing up, just constantly reading to them. Holding a book, talking about turning those pages. There's something just so wonderful about a book and smelling the book and seeing the pictures and making it come alive, because that takes what's in the book and it makes that imagination kind of run wild, and they can just really take that one step further.
Did you have any of your children, because this was, my son was never a reader, and I thought I did the same for him that I did my daughter. Now she's my second child, but I used to read because I love to read. And then before I knew it, she got old enough. She was sitting in bed with me at night, reading with me.
Right.
Now for him, he didn't sit ever.
Yeah, sure.
So let alone just try to read a book. Do you still recommend parents to still sit in the bedroom, even if they're playing, read to them?
Absolutely.
Even if they may not be paying attention, they might somewhat.
And even doing the books that are on tape or CDs or whatever they're on nowadays, those kinds of things, because you can do that in the car, and then they can have the book and they can be listening to the words and that kind of thing instead of watching a video or whatever, how they kind of drive down the road nowadays. But
so they can still follow along with it, and even if they're not reading it, they're still seeing it,
hearing it, and they still have that book in their hands, and they're strapped in, so they can't be bouncing around all over the place. Hopefully they're strapped in. But any of the kinds of things that you see reading. So you're talking about, you're out at, McDonald's, and your child's name is Michael, and you say, hey, look, there's an M up there. M is in your name too, McDonald's, Michael.
Oh.
So talking about those kinds of environmental print, that's still reading.
And also, I just thought of it, you can get it to where the words can come up on the screen of a movie.
Oh, sure.
And they're still seeing the words now, depending on if they are. It's still putting it in their face.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
Yeah, and you really have to kind of point that out, because they're not used to seeing those words and what do words mean. So looking at the pictures, that's what they do initially, and that's what we teach them to do. That there's 3 ways to read a book. They read the pictures, they retell the story, or then they learn enough to be able to read the words. So there's a lot going on there, and their little brains are just absorbing all of that.
So I don't know if you have one that comes to mind, but out of all the kids that you've read a story to, and I don't know if you do ask them, okay, so tell it back to me. What has been the most creative story that you've gotten back? I know there's probably been quite a few,
if I would have thought about this
So
before.
I just now it came to me because we went in that direction.
Oh my gosh. I honestly, I can't even think. Oh, well, let me tell you this one. This is kind of that. So I had a little guy a few years ago, and he went home and told his mom, David is picking on him. David will not leave him alone. It's David, David, David. Every day he's just being a bully to him. And I didn't have a David in my class, and there was no David that he was around at all. And come to find out, it was the book, No David, that he was transferring to a real person in the classroom. And David was really, picking on him, but it was a book. It was a character in a book.
That is so fun. That is so fun. But, I mean, and you don't know their perspective, and you don't know how they're taking things or anything. So it's one of those where I think as parents, we listen and we watch and we communicate with the teachers, especially to know what is actually happening. Yeah. I can't remember how it was worded to me, but it was when I was having my kids. So it was many years ago. A gal I worked with, she said, and I can't remember if it was a friend of hers was a teacher. She said, oh yeah, the teacher in a conference said something like, I will believe something, or a percentage of however much that you will believe that they come home and say, not because they're purposely making things up or fabricating stories. It's just because that's their perspective and they're just kind of going with it. They're just like, okay, that's how they see it. So
perception is 9/10 of reality.
That's right. I don't have much more time. Barbie, I want to thank you so much for doing what you do in the community. So I have some gifts on behalf of myself down home with Tina, and also their sponsors of the show that also give back to awesome and inspirational people and for what you do. So Ireland Spawn Salon is a $40 gift card. This is Silver Expressions and More in downtown Lancaster, a great gift shop down there. Ava Jewelers, love Ava as well. So and then Walker's Shoe Center. So,
very nice. Thank you so much.
I hope you treat yourself and do something for yourself just for what you do with giving back to the kids and everything.
Thank you so much.
So you're awesome. It's such a treat meeting you.
Thank
and
you.
Cookies.
You too.
We can't recruit the cookies. So
thank you.
Cookies. Dear, thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. It just sounds like it's awesome and fun.
As long as I can.
Keeping those stories, awesome, fun stuff. Y'all, I'll be back here in just a few minutes. It's Down Home with Tina.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. You can watch the show a few different ways on YouTube, CLN, Your Hometown Connection. You can also watch it on Spectrum 1021 on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 10 a.m., 4 p.m., and 7 p.m., and also on my Facebook page, Down Home with Tina. And it was just a few weeks ago, folks, that I was shopping and I saw this pillow up in this pillow rack, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And I went home and I thought, I want to get that pillow for my set because I loved what it says. Love, peace, and joy in it, which today it is January 22nd. It is Celebrate Life Day. And what that means, it is all about you celebrating you and doing some things for you. So just a few things that they recommend that you do for you is to make a list of good things. That is good things that you like to do. It doesn't mean that you go out and you try to do them all in one day, but it's just going out and having fun for yourself and enjoying yourself. Something good that you like to do. Another thing that it recommends you do, indulge yourself in an ideal kind of day. So if you like getting a certain kind of flavorful, yummy coffee treat, go do that. Indulge yourself in that. Do activities that you enjoyed as a child. So if there is a fun game that you like to do, then get together with friends or whatever. Being that it is Celebrate Life Day, I want you to remember that the only person in this world that can really tell you your value and your self-worth is you. You are the only one that at the end of the day, you can say, did I make good choices today? Did I make some choices that were not so good choices? I always tell folks, you know what? Every choice, there comes a consequence. So if it's a good choice, then usually you know what the good or bad is. But anyways, with that being said, you are the one that can really tell you if you're going to have a good day, if you're going to have a bad day. I would love to go into greater detail about love, peace, and joy, but I also know that that's not something that we have time for today. It reminds me of Valentine's Day, and don't tell me you haven't seen it in the shelves and things at stores at Valentine's Day. It's just coming up and it's around the corner and it's all starting to be in our faces. But what we need to remember about Valentine's Day, yes, it's supposed to be about getting together with your lovey, or you can get together with your best friends. It doesn't have to be all about just being by yourself. You can hang out or being with somebody in a romantic relationship. I think it's really about loving yourself as well and not forgetting about you and doing something for you. But I will try to. I can't promise you, because sometimes my shows I get really, really busy and I have a whole lot to talk about. I will try to get into more conversation about love, peace, and joy, because I feel that also in order to love yourself is how you will gain peace in your life, which can sometimes be a challenge. And then the other way is having these two, it does bring you joy. It can be challenging because, guys, we all have good days and bad days, that's for sure. I have my days where I wake up the next morning, I've got bags under my eyes because, I had a day where I was just sad and I'm like, But make sure that you just do something that will make you laugh, and also do it with friends. You don't have to do it by yourself. And I also, before I go, I want to just thank my sponsors, because Down Home with Tina is brought to you by some wonderful folks here in the community. Huddle Tire Company, you've got any services that you need done on your vehicle or your tires, please give them a call or stop by. Donald Law Office, they do estate planning. They offer other different services as well. They're great with veterans. Make sure you give them a call. They're located over in Baltimore. Ireland Spa and Salon. If you want to treat yourself, then that is a place to do it, because I know they have massages. You can get your hair done, your nails done, facials, all kinds of wonderful things. And then Fairfield Area Humane Society, that is who you're going to want to find out about all the different services if you do have a pet, or if you don't have a pet, you can't have a pet, then maybe you can just donate to them or go over, help out, volunteer, take one of the dogs outside, walk them, play with them, and kind of give back in that kind of way. And if you can give to them monetarily, I'm sure they'll always take that. I want to thank you so much for watching Down Home with Tina. God bless. Good day.